This is Chit and Chat, the encouraging one another podcast, interviewing people from all walks of life, having fun, encouraging, uplifting conversations with great music as well. Kick back and relax. This is Chit and Chat, the encouraging one another podcast. This is Galactic Harmony. Moving on.
Feeling emotion, I'm stuck with commotion, I'm coming apart at the seams. Can I take a breather? This lesson in healing is discombobulating me. I'm losing control, I can't seem to find. Seeing the outcome just not in my mind. I'm moving on. So I take back my energy and I give back all of you and me, and I detach from all that I see that reminds me of you. And I stand up once again strong, and I realize where it all went wrong, and I bless the sky, the earth that we walk upon. Feeling emotion, I'm stuck with commotion, I'm coming apart at the seams. Can I take a breather? This lesson in healing is discombobulating me. I'm losing control, I can't seem to find. Seeing the outcome just not in my mind. I'm moving on.
That was Galactic Harmony. Moving on. Hello and welcome to Chit and Chat, the encouraging one another podcast, back for another fun, exciting, and encouraging, and hopefully entertaining podcast episode for you today. This podcast features people from all walks of life, musicians, comedians, sports personalities, and many, many others. Every episode features music by some incredible guests from all over the world, and some of these guests could be in your own backyard. The first song you heard in the opening of this episode was by Galactic Harmony, and their song called Moving On. Can't wait to get them on the show and gonna get their story as well. Every episode I feature promotions by many sponsors who are part of this podcast. If you're from the Pacific Northwest or my neck of the woods, check them out. Their restaurants, their businesses, their small businesses, they're great people here in the area. At the end of the podcast, and when you go online to Anchor, or you can check out more about them and their phone numbers and whatnot. Before I introduce my guest today, I've learned the past few years never ever be afraid to ask someone for an opportunity to talk to them. I was doing my research today. I'm seeing outside the box. And so you may not know the person I'm talking to, but I bet you recognize her voice. Her voice has been heard by millions. all over the world. She is probably one of the most recognized voices in the world. She's a voice actor, singer, speaker whose voice appeared on hundreds of commercials, radio and TV, McDonald's, Fisher Price, Delta Airlines. She's even helped you out when you got lost a few times. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm speaking to Susan Bennett, the OG, the original voice of Siri, today here on Chit and Chat, the encouraging One Other podcast. Thank you for this awesome opportunity today. I really appreciate it.
Sure.
So I'm honored to have you on and kind of hear a little more about your story, who encouraged you, who inspired you. But before we do that, I'd love to throw some icebreaker questions at my guest, kind of get the wheels on the bus rolling. You ready for a few?
Absolutely.
All right. When the time comes and you're able to do an autobiography, if you haven't already, what would the name of your autobiography be?
Oh, The Real Siri.
Ooh, that's a good one. What was the worst job you ever had, and why was it the worst job you ever had?
Well, I'm a musician, and probably the worst job was actually the best job as far as we had a packed house and it was really fun. But it's at this little club in Atlanta called Eddie's Attic, which is fabulous, but it's in a very old building with very long, steep steps and no elevator.
Ooh.
So by the time you get on stage to do your show, you're exhausted.
You get a workout before you on stage.
You do. You get a workout. It is worth it, though. I mean, it's a great, very attentive crowd. We had a wonderful time.
What is your favorite dessert?
My favorite dessert, probably pecan pie.
Ooh, you are from the South.
I'm not, actually. I was born in Vermont.
Okay. I'm born in Arkansas. I love pecan pie. Oh, many memories eating pecan pie with family and friends around the holidays. And the last one, do you have a favorite meal you like to prepare or cook?
Oh, well, I don't like to cook. So
okay, that's easy.
Prepare. I like to prepare reservations.
Ooh, yes. What, 7 digits and you're set.
Yep, there you go.
For my listeners out there who might not know who Susan Bennett is, who is Susan Bennett? Can you give a little brief bio on who Susan Bennett is?
Well, I'm basically a singer, voice actor, and the original voice of Siri.
And you were born in Vermont, and you live somewhere else now, right?
Burlington, Vermont. Yeah.
Okay. How long did you live up in the east there?
I was in the Northeast all the way through college, and then I married a man who became an NHL hockey player, Kurt Bennett, and that's where I got my last name, Bennett. And we moved to Atlanta because he started off with the New York Rangers, and then he got traded to the Atlanta Flames. That's when they were trying out a hockey team in the South, and but it didn't really last too many years because Southerners had a tough time keeping up with the puck.
Did you survive those treacherous weather? Now the weather's crazy all over the United States right now.
Oh, you mean now?
Yes. You survived the weather.
Very cold. Yeah, very cold. I'm a former Yankee though, so I have plenty of coats.
Reading over your bio, you always interested in music and acting. Was there someone in your early ages, maybe as you got a little older, who encouraged you in these areas?
Encouraged me. Well, basically I've had encouragement from agents. I was with Atlanta Models and Talent for many, many years. And when I became known as the original voice of Siri, I got another agent in Los Angeles, Wes Stevens, actually 2 agents, Wes Stevens and Tom Lawless at Vox. And they've been fabulous. They've been really, really fabulous. And actually, I did get a deal of encouragement from them to broaden my my resume, I guess you could say. I started to do speaker events.
Oh, wow.
based on the series story. And so that was something I probably never could have imagined doing, 10 years ago. And so that was kind of a fun thing to have happen as being a mature voice actor. So to go into something like doing speaker events was brand new, and it's turned out to be really fun. I like it.
And you also went to Brown University, where you sang 4 years with the Chatter Talks.
Chatter Talk, yeah.
What was that like?
Oh, it was great. It was a 4-part singing group, and we had 2 guitars as well accompanying us. And I think the name Chatter Talk was like a takeoff on the Yale Jabberwocks, so it was kind of a joke. Because what's a Chatter Talk? Well, it's nothing really, just the name of the singing group. And that was really, really fun. I was in that, I think I joined freshman year, and then I became the leader of the group eventually. So that was a lot of fun.
Is that where you were able to kind of begin touring with Burt Bacharach and Roy Orbison?
Oh no, that came much later.
Okay.
I moved to Atlanta, which is where my husband and I lived, and I had some opportunities to do some different types of singing. I did a lot of commercial jingles and that sort of thing, and I had a band that did private events, and I sang with them, and I was recommended for a couple of the Burt Bacharach gig, and also the Roy Orbison gig. So that ended up being fun. The Burt Bacharach was just a short tour of the South, Burt, and he was with Carol Bayer Sager at the time. But that was a real thrill for me because he's just incredible. And then I was with Roy Orbison for 2 years, and that was great because we went all over the place. We went to England, we went to Australia, we went all over the United States. So that was a lot of fun.
What is a few of the most memorable places you sang at in your career?
Well, I can't really think of anything particularly famous, and I certainly didn't draw, a stadium crowd. But I really cannot think of places there. I can't think of the actual venue names.
Okay. A little bit later, you began singing jingles for big companies like Coca-Cola and Georgia Power. How did you get in? I love voiceover work. I love voiceover actors. I love commercials, cartoons, video games. I think that is an underrated work. That's so overrated. Voiceover. I love voice actors. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun because it's not nearly as hard as doing things on camera because you're only responsible for the voice and not your face or your actions. So for me, it was just really easy and really fun. I got into it thanks to the original owner of a studio in Atlanta called Doppler Studios. It no longer exists. It was around for almost 50 years, but it's no longer there. And Pete Caldwell is the man's name. And what happened was I happened to be in the studio doing something else. And the voice actor didn't show up for a particular jingle that I had sung for. And Pete came to me and he said, "Susan, you don't have an accent. Come over here and read this copy. See if you can do this copy." So I went, "Oh, ding, ding, ding. I can do that." So I subbed for this person that never showed up and got the gig, and that was the start of it. And that's been many, many, many years ago.
I watched some of your TED Talks in which you shared a lot of cool number of voices and characters. I can do like 2 or 3. My daughter can do she can do Russian, Australia, England. She does all kinds of voices. I'm like, you got to get into this voiceover work, because she'll talk one day in Australian. Good day, mate. And it's so fun to listen to her crew voices. How do you come up with different voices and different characters?
Well, I don't have that many, but I've just got a good ear. I'm a musician. And so I can kind of imitate sounds. If I listen to an accent long enough, and practice it, I can pretty much get it.
I'll give a shout out to Mr. Robert Sheldon. He helped me years ago. I auditioned for the Aflac Duck. Went to his studio.
Oh, I did too, and I didn't get it. Darn it!
I didn't be there. I got a letter. I was in the top 10. So hey, that was a success for me. I was happy. But it was really cool auditioning for you getting your sound in the booth. And Robert's like, just make these different angry voices or happy voices, and it's really cool doing a little this little audition for voiceover work.
Yeah.
Was there someone who inspired you, perhaps, in teaching you some of your techniques you have in the business, or you kind of do it all on your own and kind of learn from yourself or other people?
Well, I think for me, a lot of it was pretty instinctive. But I did do go to a couple of different coaches. One was a guy named, oh gosh, I'm not going to be able to remember his name. He's been gone for a while. Stuart Culpepper. He was a big deal here. He was a very famous local actor. And I had some classes with him. And then also a friend of mine who also did voiceover work. She was a teacher of dialects and accents and things like that. So I studied with her a bit too. So yeah.
And 24 years ago, you did a little bit of work for Lucent Technology. It kind of got you boosted to the text to speak voices. Would you mind sharing a little bit about that history, about timeline a little bit?
Well, when I started to do these recordings, I didn't know what they were for. And the thing that was interesting about them is that they was so much of it was very nonsensical, and you had to read it in a particular way because you had to. The voice was going to be concatenated, and what that means is they would go into the sentences and grab different sounds from each sentence and reform them into a new sentence that they would use for whatever device they were going to put it on. Mm-hmm. And so in other words, we would have sentences like let me see if I still I've got some of my copy here. Hang on 1 second. This is worth the time. Hang on.
This talking to you is worth the time.
Oh, here we go. This crazy stuff. It was very, very nonsensical, and it was based on trying to get all of the sounds and sound combinations in the language. So it was, we were reading a lot of really crazy stuff. Let me see, what have I got here in this script here? Say the puke ding again. Say the word illuminate ding again. Say the shri ding again. Say the habitual ding again. Let's see. Here's the claw oven paw us today. Triumph by usher today. Cow ugly cow udder today. So, this is the kind of thing that can make you just tiny bit insane.
Okay. That is crazy.
Yeah, and then from these recordings came all kinds of stuff. One thing of which was Siri.
And Siri has a very distinct personality, doesn't she?
Well, she used to.
Okay.
She's kind of everybody's buddy now. She has kind of a nondescript voice, but when it was my voice, the original voice, she really was a little snarky. And it was kind of funny too, because I think a lot of people talk to Siri just to see what she would say back to them.
Me and Alexa go round and round. She won't listen to me. I'm screaming at Alexa. I'm like, what am I screaming at Alexa for?
Yeah. Well, the very first time I spoke to Siri, I said, "Oh, hi Siri, what are you doing?" And she very disgustedly responded, "I'm talking to you."
I did ask her yesterday, who is the voice of Siri? She goes, Susan Bennett is the voice of Siri. I was like, oh, yeah, I was right.
Good for her. She got it right.
Where did the name Siri come from? Do you know?
I don't know for sure, but I think it could have been an acronym for speech integration, recognition, something. Yeah. I'm really not sure.
Do you know where Siri where it comes from, or how did they just we'll talk? You think you said one of your interviews, the other guy was named Dave, I think, or someone overseas. different series had different regions have different names, correct?
Yeah, the British voice, it was male, and the French voice was male. The British voice was actually a pretty famous guy, and I met him. He's a wonderful man, John Briggs, and he's a famous BBC announcer, and he was
Oh,
also the voice of Daniel, and that was the original iPhone voice in England.
I love the story where someone contacted you and said, "I think I heard your voice on my phone." You want to share about that a little bit?
My voice has been a lot of different places, so that was a little bit shocking though, because it was just so everywhere. It was ubiquitous. You couldn't escape me.
You take a couple of years to come out and in public, and you're kind of timid sharing that, or was that kind of just like in shock still? That was still you being on millions and millions of phones.
Well, it took me a while to get used to it, because what it meant was that people would recognize my voice, which meant that could, hinder my doing other work,
Mm-hmm.
and so that worried me a while, and I didn't really come out about it. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do about it. It took me a couple of years to get used to the fact that was my voice, and finally I just thought, well, what have you got to lose? What the heck, So, and it was a smart move, because I had a lot of fun with it. I did a lot of radio and TV interviews and met a lot of interesting people. And as I said before, it led to a completely different career of doing speaker events. So I'm very grateful to old Siri.
I love one of your quotes you said in one of your interviews I've been watching. It was a 4-letter word that you changed to a 5-letter word, from fear to faith.
Oh. Yeah.
I saw it somewhere. I read it.
Yeah, I don't know.
So when their family members were coming up to you going, "Hey, you're my voice, you're my phone," and how did that die down a little while for you to kind of calm down, and the updates of the phones and all? Take a little while.
What your question is here.
Just the hoopla about it for a while until you do updates and stuff, and kind of carried you on, your popularity as Siri, I guess, and the many you did Delta commercials, and so your voice was all over the place, really.
Yeah, occasionally. As far as being the Siri voice, there was really, it is what it is, which is just a text to speech voice, and of course I think I was only on there for about 2 or 3 years. They changed the voice up, and I think that I've talked to other original Siri voices. There were 4 of us. An Australian voice, Karen Jacobson, John Briggs in England. I was the North American voice, and then the French voice, and I never met or spoke to that man, but there were 4 original voices. And I think that Apple wanted the voices to be anonymous so that people could imagine their own incarnation of who Siri is. And so they changed up the voices. So.
And I believe you don't want to get any compensation for that. Is that correct?
No compensation, not 1 penny.
Wow.
So, yeah. Write a letter to Apple. I'm sure they'll really take it to heart.
Oh, I'm sure they will. So what are you doing these days? You staying pretty busy?
Well, I'm doing a lot of different things. As I said, I'm a musician, and my husband's a fabulous guitar player. So he and I have a couple of bands that we play with, and I do as much voice work as I can do. And I'm not as busy as I was, and so I'm trying to figure out how to get more work happening. So if anybody wants a good speaker, call me.
Speaking of calling, you have a website as well, correct?
Oh, of course, SusanCBennett.com.
And you do all kinds of gigs and stuff. You want to reach out to you, they can just ask for your how you get contact with you and kind of schedule a time and place. I'm sure you can accommodate anyone really around the world.
Contact me, or you can, because I will just send you to my agent.
Okay.
And you want to go directly to my agent, you can find him at vox.usa.net. That's what it is.
voxusa.net.
Net,
All
yeah.
right.
Or you can just Google Vox Inc. Yeah.
Are you interested in doing like video games and cartoon characters, or what as a voiceover actor, you could do almost anything, really.
Well, that's true, but I'm not really doing much long form stuff anymore because I am of a certain age, and I just don't want to work all the time. So
Right.
yeah, I would love to be a cartoon voice, but I think most of those people have got it covered in Los Angeles. So
Yeah, I just really enjoy seeing all the different characters. One person does like 20 different characters. It's crazy.
Mhm.
I read about the guy who did from Scooby Doo, did Fred's voice for a number of years, and I think this voiceover work is just so cool.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of fun. It really is fun.
Well, thank you so much for the time today. Really appreciate it. And the Chit and Chat Encouraging One on podcast is just about reaching out to people and getting their story and sharing encouragement and positivity and meeting people from all around the world, just like Susan Bennett, the OG, the original voice of Siri.
And Siri says, bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. The next song is by Chelsea Ray, Laid My Cards Out.
It isn't hard for me to see when you look at me. I made the choice to lay it all on the line. But you're so hard to read, like a novel mystery. With every page I turn, you're leaving clues for me to find. You play into my every move, you have from the start. But I'm calling now, and I wanna know if I'm the queen of your heart. I laid my cards out on the table. I may be young, but know that I'm able to give you everything I have and everything I am. I gave you all my love, then you didn't give a damn. I was yearning to learn, but now I understand. You held back while I showed you my hand and laid my cards out on the table. I know just as hard to show when the past just won't let go. We've both been hurt, we've been there before. But stepping on the past is like shards of broken glass. It will cut you deep and bleed you to the core. It's time for you to let it go. It's time to lay it down. Quit playing games and make a move, or you're gonna lose this round. Everything hard for me to see when you look at me. I made the choice to lay it all on the line.
That was Chelsea Ray, Laid My Cards Out. My podcast spotlight comes way back when from episode 53. I got a chance to meet Derek Clark. Derek is an inspirational speaker who has faced adversities mentally and physically from the day he was even born. Go back and check out that episode. Very, very powerful. Today's spotlight, he shares about when rapping began to transfer his life. Rapping in the car with his kids, going viral, and soon he became the rapping dad. Check out his website, iwillnevergiveup.com. This is Derek Clark.
While in school, you started rapping. You were a sophomore. Was rapping helping you creatively express yourself? Is that how you really started into the rapping?
Yes. I became a rapper towards the end of my sophomore year. My freshman and most of my sophomore year, I was a skater punk. And so I had this haircut that was like a horns, shaved on the side, shaved on the center of my head, and then shaved on the other side. And then I had these huge orange horns. And then I was hanging out with one of my best friends, Arlen, and African-American kid. And I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area, so a lot of cultural melting pot there. So a lot of African American, a lot of Hispanic, Samoan, Tongan, Filipino, and stuff. And so I'm at the school called Hayward High, and I'm hanging out with my one of my best friends, and I see a bunch of people over in the corner at lunchtime going, ho, 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 and they're raising their hands and they're getting crazy. And I'm like, dude, there's a fight over there. And he goes, no, that's not a fight. They're doing battles. And so I walk over there with him and I see something that changes my life forever. I see two guys battling each other, not fighting with their fists, but fighting with their mouths, their tongues. And I thought, what if I could use my tongue like a weapon instead of my fists? Because my fists were always getting me in trouble.
Right.
And so I said, hey, let me battle I want to fight. And they go, nah, D, you white, you can't do that. And I couldn't battle. I sucked. But I knew without a shadow of a doubt that I did not want to be a skater punk anymore. I wanted to be a rapper because I got so much rage, so much resentment, so much bitterness, so much anger that my fists were always getting me in trouble at school. What if I could use my mouth as a weapon? And so I started learning how to rap, man. I started learning how to syncopate, how to have rhythm, how to stretch out my vowels, how to find the right words that, will rhyme and then have rhythm. And it took about a year. And then I started getting this rhythm and I would write. What is rap? It's poetry. We call it flowetry.
Right.
And it's just these poems in a way. And I'm not into rap these days as much as I'm in the rap, the old school from the late 80s and 90s, where it was always generally about the struggle or a story. A lot of rap these days are not about stories or survival or struggles. It's about popping a Percocet or a Molly or whatever. And so I just started writing all the dark stuff of my life to get the inside crap out, basically, to get the inside out, because it's not doing me any good inside there. It's just compounding to get me more angrier and angrier. So I started writing and writing. And then my friend turned me on to a reggae mixtape. He gave me a reggae mixtape of Lucky Dube, Peter Tosh, Yellow Man, Bob and Ziggy Marley. And I started to vibe to reggae.
Oh, wow.
And I thought, what if I could mix reggae with rap? And then in one of my battles, I did something like, I'll be there thinking of it, and people were like, what did you just do there? And then I realized I had a gift. My tongue moved quick, and I could do like tongue twisting and double time and triple time, and I could talk fast. And I thought, what if I could apply that to rap, but give it a reggae flow? So then I would do something like this. Well, I'll be the ripping, I'm thinking I'm taking my time. I'll be the ripping and thinking I'm making it, sucking, I'm making it, kicking it with the time. And then I would switch it reggae. Is a man that want to feel, thinking I'm making it, sucking, I'm making it, kicking it with the tails. I'm with the feel like I'm nothing is impossible. And then everything changed, and those girls are like, that white boy is fine. And everything changed. And that was the birth of Mr. Diamond D.
What did you add your niche of encouraging vibes to it? As you slowly got out of your anger part and adding encouragement, when was that transition?
Man, that was when I was mature. That was in my 30s. I mean, I would write stuff in my 20s, but no, it was, I mean, it was hardcore, just about pain. I mean, before Eminem came out, I always told people, I mean, this was what it was about, because we had Vanilla Ice and Marky Mark and all these other things, but it was all light. Mine was more emo, dark, I guess you might say, and just about the struggles of my life. And then when Eminem came out, I'm like, that's me. That's what's he, what happened there? That's supposed to be me. And then Eminem blew up and it was over. So, and I took a long break, probably close to 8-9 years from rap, hip hop, because it just wasn't working out. But I would still use it as a therapy for me, where I would write, right, and it would just be in poetic form. And then I was rapping in the car with my kids one day when I was about, man, it was about 7-8 years ago, maybe about 7 years ago. And I am just rhyming in the car with my kids on the way to tennis, taking us to a tennis clinic at the country club. And we're driving down this rural road. And it's this video that you can see on YouTube called "Can Your Dad Do This?" or "Can Your Dad Rap?" or "Can Your Dad Do This?" I think it's called.
Okay.
And it got like 1,000 views because we put it on YouTube, and we're like, "Oh my gosh, this is awesome!" And then it got like 6,000, 7,000 views, and we're like, "We're viral!" Right? We're like, "This is awesome!" And then it sat, no joke, Jody, it sat for 6 months at about 7,000 views, and it just sat. And then all of a sudden, I get some messages saying, "You better monetize your video. Your video just went viral." And I'm like, "What?" And I checked my video, and it's like 10,000. And somebody wrote, "It just went viral on Reddit."
Wow.
And then it went 20,000, then 50,000. We're watching it just go up. We're just all so excited. Then 100,000. We're like, "Holy cow!" And then it just started going and going, and then it went all over social media, but that was the birth of the rapping dad in a way. And then I kept putting out videos because people wanted it. Then I set up a Facebook page a few years ago, and people are like, "Oh, we love your connection with your kids and you guys are rapping." And then I put out this one video just a couple years ago, and Shaquille O'Neal saw that and tweeted, "What's up, empty soccer dad?" And then all of a sudden I'm on Tosh Point oh, comedian. He's calling me cool dad, a dorkily cool dad, like all these things. It's just taking off. All these celebrities are sharing it. And then Steve Harvey brings me on the show a few years ago and coins the phrase "rapping dad" for me. And then that was pretty much it. So
yeah, I saw a video of you and your buddies in your living room rapping. Is rapping contagious in the Clark household?
Well, not as much, because we'll listen to country, we listen to rock. I mean, we're very eclectic in our music, but sometimes we'll just, when I'm bringing out the guitar or something, we'll just mess around. But no, I listen to everything. So our family listens to everything. So it's not just a hip hop family.
You were the first one in your family to graduate high school. What was that like for you?
Yeah, that was pretty tough to graduate. I had been expelled out of high school my senior year for violence at school, and I turned 18. I had gotten held back in school, unfortunately, and so I was 18 August. And so I was 18 my whole school year, and so they were tired. I've been suspended over and over again, so I got in this bad episode with teachers and stuff. So I got expelled. And then I had to go through a 3-day course on understanding my rage and my anger, and then I got reinstated back in high school in March. The social services and my foster parents got the county involved, and they worked it out where I could stay back and go back in school. But the last 2 periods I would have to spend in the assistant principal's office because the teachers didn't want me. So I would do my schoolwork in the assistant principal's office, and it was known I was not going to graduate. I mean, my GPAs, I show my high school transcripts for my audiences sometimes, and my GPAs are 1.67, 1.79, 1.74, all the way to 2.06, which I had a girlfriend at that time, and she helped me with my schoolwork, but I guess she wasn't that smart either. I don't know. But but I remember that my guidance counselor saying to me, you're not going to graduate, Derek. And I go, oh yeah, I know. So we didn't order caps, gowns, tassels. I wasn't invited to senior picnic or senior Disney trip or anything like that because of my violent issues and being suspended and expelled and all that stuff. So, and my foster parents were already new, so I felt like I wasn't in trouble. And I was talking to a couple friends, hey, you guys gonna walk the stage? And they're like, yeah, we're gonna walk the stage. You guys are gonna graduate? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, yeah, we're gonna graduate. I'm like, no, stay back with me, stay back with me. And they're like, no, man, my parents will get me, so I gotta graduate, D. And so it started pushing me. And I remember my guidance counselor saying to me, Derek, you're not gonna graduate. And I go, I don't care. And then she goes like this. She yells at me, what are you going to do with your life, Derek? What are you going to do with your life? You're better than this. You're better than this. She kept saying, and it just reverberated in my brain for like 2 weeks of Mrs. Jones saying, you're better than this. And then like Rocky Balboa, getting back up, I'm like, I'm going to start working. I'm going to put in the work. And about a week before I graduated, or maybe it was about 2 weeks or something, because we graduated back then in June.
Right.
And Mrs. Jones and Mrs. Lloyd, assistant principal, bring me in. Well, they come in my office. They come in her office and they say, Derek, you need to have a seat. Please sit down. We have some news we have to share with you. And they're very serious. And I'm like, what is going on? And I'm like, Miss Jones, I've been good. Whatever I do outside of high school doesn't count, but in high school, I'm good. And she's like, no, Derek, sit down. And I sit down and I'm like frustrated because I'm going to be in trouble again. And then they both look at me and smile. And Mrs. Jones says, you did it, Derek. You did it. You're going to graduate high school. You did it. And I remember calling my foster mom from.
Sometimes dreadful adversity can be your greatest gift. You turn that pain into progress, well, that's a mindset shift. But not everyone's strong right off the bat. It takes time to be mentally tough and counteract. See, we're all broken, some confined in a prison of our mind. Have compassion realigned by being kind, don't undermine, or quick to judge their storyline. For everyone has a mountain to climb. Ask yourself, when people look for light, do you bring them darkness? Because how can you help the lost when you're bitter and heartless? So what did you become because of your past? Let me say it again. What did you become because of your past? Has your life crashed and now you judge others because you're not happy living in your house of glass? Who are you really? No. Who are you really? If your life was a movie, would you get an Oscar for authenticity? Do you know that anger is one letter away from danger? So love your haters. Communicate, don't escalate. Be the peacemaker. Be compassionate, patient, for everyone is broken. Some scars are visible and some invisible, as their innocence was stolen. Hatred kills your spirit, but kindness, it's contagious. Go step away from bitterness and let the world see your greatness. See, your past doesn't have to make you a prisoner and give you a life sentence. Be intense with your sixth sense and listen to your intuition. Don't convict yourself with false allegations like you're not good enough, you're not smart enough. Let go of those frustrations and lift your head up and say, I am a beautiful creation. It takes time to heal, and sometimes you learn to live with the pain. Listen, there's no time limit on grieving, so don't be ashamed. But don't guilt yourself to death with emotional starvation. I'm here to tell you that your current situation is not your final destination. Now is the time to make peace with your broken pieces. But if there's hate in your head and hate in your heart, wouldn't you say that a case of victimitis is one of the worst diseases? So take responsibility for the direction of your life. Proclaim. If you complain and blame, that's the mindset you'll remain. So activate your brain. You've paid life's tuition. Now go get a reward for your pain. Sometimes all it takes is one word or one phrase that turns desperation into motivation and gives you the courage to change your ways. But are you addicted to being a victim? If so, evict that negativity. Fight your fight. Don't let your thoughts hold you in captivity. Are you controlled by the negative voices in your head? If so, take back your life and get back up. You're not dead. So kill your excuses. Your life is a gift.
Here's a life lesson: forgive others. Now that's a beautiful plot twist. To be real, your greatest teacher is your last mistake. Your advantages are in your mind and in your faith. So concentrate, educate, and don't instigate hate. You never know the life that you can save. This is motivational speaker Derek Clark. You can find out more at www.iwillnevergiveup.com. iwillnevergiveup.com.
Absolutely powerful, isn't it? Whatever you're facing, whatever issues you're going through, please reach out and talk to someone and get the help you need. Well, it's time to take a quick break for our commercials, for our sponsors, sharing about local businesses here in the area that have been part of this podcast for a while. And I'm always reaching out to other businesses, locally owned, veteran owned, whoever wants to come on board and I can share about them and their business and get their word out. So let's step away for about a minute or so to enjoy some commercials from local sponsors. What do you get when you're a single mom that has a vision to a blooming full-time business? You go for it. That's what Amanda Zobrist has done. She has started the Dandelion Sticker Company. She has a knack to create almost anything. At the Dandelion Sticker Company, she can create tumblers, stickers, t-shirts, and much, much more. From little sizes to big sizes to really big sizes, she wants to make your vision a reality. Working with small businesses is her compassion in her community that allows her to make a meaningful impact on a local level. Looking for business to help you promote your business? Check out Dandelion Sticker Company. Her high quality stickers are perfect for your products, advertising your services, and getting your business out there for the world to see. I'm so excited to Chit and Chat encouraging one other podcast to be working with the Dandelion Sticker Company to create merchandise to sell in the future. Please reach out and let us know what you might be interested in. Got some ideas that you want created for your business or personal use? Check out dandelionsticker.com. Dandelion Stickers is locally owned and operated in Silverdale, Washington, but you can reach her easily by emailing dandelionsticker.co@gmail.com. You can also find her on Facebook too. Make your vision a reality with the Dandelion Sticker Company today. When we transported back in time to say the 1950s, as soon as you arrive at the Big Apple Diner, you'll be transported back in time. Their decor is amazing. Their menu is amazing too, with breakfast, lunch, and dinner items. Try something different each time you go. I've had the penny pincher combo, which is a combination of quarter pounder with cheese, french fries, and a milkshake or drink for $9.99. Where can you find a meal for $9.99? And they have over 30 flavors of milkshakes. You can literally have a milkshake a day and never get enough of the milkshakes, pies, and sundaes at the Big Apple Diner. Dine in or take out, so you can check them out. They're located at 6720 Kitsap Way in Bremerton, and their hours are 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and they're closed on Mondays. Swing by and check them out. The Big Apple Diner. The website is thebigapplediner.com, or you can call and place your order today at 360-373-8342. Eat well, eat local, eat at the Big Apple Diner in Bremerton. I'd like to welcome one of the newest sponsors to the podcast, Mr. Alex Pablo. He specializes in assisting small to medium-sized local family restaurants establishments in enhancing their brand, identify, and cultivate a strong business image. He provides a comprehensive support through the creation and maintenance of professional business website, menu design, printing services, as well as implementing an effective online ordering system. His objective is to empower these businesses to flourish and achieve sustained success and increased online sales in their respective markets. Check out aldentedigitals.com for more information. Are you looking for some fresh, authentic Mexican food? I got two places for you. That's right, two places. Tequiza, located in the Kitsap Mall in Silverdale, Washington. Their number is 360-698-4335. They have some of the best tacos, burritos, taco salads, chimichangas, refried beans, and some of the best tasting grilled jalapenos around. Also, Tequiza Street, a local food truck they have as well in the area. In Silverdale, the number is 360-914-9152. They have some of the best tasting breakfast burritos as well. Both locations have the freshest ingredients. Each bite is bursting with flavorful, authentic flavors. So you might see my friends with Roberto and his amazing staff. Or you got a big event coming up, they can fix you up as well. They also cater. Give them a call today, Tequiza, at 360-698-4335 or Tequiza Street, 360-914-9152. Fresh, tasting, locally owned and operated Mexican food. Delicious. Check them out today. My next song is by Joel Gibson Jr. and he is full of energy, and on stage he just brings it all the time. But I love this song called "Woke Up to You Leaving." It's a different kind of a vibe for him. Hope you enjoy this song by Joel Gibson Jr.
I woke up to you leaving. You said you need to be alone. You left your ring by the bed and turned off your phone. And when you pulled out of the drive, I wondered where you were gonna go. And if that road you were on would lead you back home. You told me 100 times to get it right. I didn't get it right. It ain't because I don't try. I make you laugh, but I made you cry. And I guess I'm out of time. Honey, I don't blame you, but I don't want you to go. 'Cause I'm scared to be alone. As I sit here thinking back about the good times we had, back when you thought I hung the moon, and you were proud I was your man. If I could go back in time, I would unbreak your heart. I'd be the man you need me to be, and get it right from the start. You told me 100 times to get it right. I didn't get it right. It ain't because I don't try. I make you laugh, but I made you cry. And I guess I'm out of time. Honey, I don't blame you, but I don't want you to go. 'Cause I'm scared to be alone. No, honey, I don't blame you, but I don't want you to go. 'Cause I'm scared to be alone.
Good song by Joel Gibson Jr. Woke Up to You Leaving. This is Chit and Chat, the encouraging one another podcast. It's always about encouraging others.